So, format is going to be a little political background, how I used cameras to take on the police through the Occupy movement, and then examples of other photographers who photographed me at work during Occupy Seattle. So, I learned that we should police the police from Huey and Bobby. And while it was appropriate for them to use shotguns, I maintain that we can use cameras to change the balance of power between the people and the police. Steve Shames is a dear friend of mine and was a photographer for the Black Panther Party for 10 years. And here he is with my two kids. The one on the left is Brian, who's sitting here in the audience. So I can tell you a story about Steve that taught me that photography is often a contact sport. Perkle Jones' late wife, Ruth Marion Baruch, brought the Panthers to the attention of the world through their photography. He was a mentor of mine and taught me a bunch about the role of photography. Okay, fact. The police work for us. Reality. The police work for the 1%. Re-education is the key, and I believe that sunshine applied to the police is one way to effect change. And in the old days, I'm an old radical, we always said the whole world is watching. That meant network news in the old days. Your cell phone with the camera changes that balance, and it's now narrowcasting, not broadcasting. So let's talk about the fact that the police will act differently if they know they are being watched. The Heisenberg principle. So don't hide the fact that you're photographing them. Be respectful and firm. You have a right to photograph public employees doing their jobs. So I believe it's your obligation to shine light on police activity. Record first, it's digital, it's free, edit later. Multiple photographers are a bad cop's worst nightmare, a good cop's friend. Are we clear about that? So, during the tent encampment in Seattle, I acted as a witness photographing the arrest and removal of tents October 5th and October 17th. Learn the applicable laws, use them to your advantage. So, if you don't believe that what I do works, look at the civil rights movement, because Life Look, the weeklies, have been replaced by Facebook and social media. It does work. Images tell stories. Better images tell better stories. Snapshots versus photographs. Instagram makes no difference here. If you're going to do citizen journalism, learn your craft. Learn photography, because you would tell a better story. And this last sentence, my video was used in court cases and stopped the police in their tracks. Learn your gear, learn your gear, learn your gear. It should be a no-brainer, because in the heat of a struggle, you're not going to have time to flip and fumble an RTFM. Plan ahead, get there first, learn the lay of the land. Look at the police. Is it a sweep or is it a squeeze play? Where's the command and control? Where are the officers standing? Photograph the police's badges, name tags. It comes in handy. The traditional media, they are always in the wrong place. Never be by the news people. So, I'm serious, man. So, are you working alone? Or are you working with a group of other photographers? What's the story you're trying to tell? Why are you taking photographs or videos? Shoot in small chunks. It's easier to index and review. Storage is free. Shoot now, edit later. Use your largest memory card first. This is often a physical sport. You will see in the photographs of other Occupy photographers how I position myself vis-a-vis the action. The last line, I'm not afraid, motherfucker. I'm a black man from Cleveland. Are we clear about that? Okay, so when the police set up a perimeter that blocks me out, I'm in the right position. When they threaten me with jaywalking to get to their action, I'm in the right position. I am an unbiased witness when I take photographs, but I'm also an occupier. So Mike Sanford, Assistant Chief of Police, now wrestling with the DOJ. These were the two guys running the show at the north end of Westgate Park. The police were on the south end. My homeboy Tony Axtell, fifth person arrested. They tried to change the course of events. They subpoenaed me in my videotape. The police backed off. Why? Because I had already filed an excessive force complaint with the Office of Professional Accountability, and that officer backed off. Watch where the pink hat is every time there is an arrest. The other Occupy Seattle photographers came to me and said, dude, you were always surrounded by blue, which meant that I was there because I'd been doing direct action for 44 years, and I anticipated the play. Some of you can read a football field or a basketball court. I can read a demonstration. I walked in the WTO, saw the SPD with her ass against the convention center walls, looking out on the protesters and the hotels with the delegates beyond. I knew at 7:30 a.m. the battle in Seattle was going to be won by us because the cops were in the wrong place. So I had already photographed all the police here, and I'm following along every time someone's arrested. You'll see that pink hat everywhere there's arrest, and that's why other Occupy photographers came to me and said, dude, you're always surrounded by blue. So I'm polite, I'm firm. Officer Eastman right there, good guy. And I was contacted by no less than 3 lawyers for Occupy arrestees that day, subpoenaed twice. Here I am again. This man here is a former Black Panther friend of mine. So if you're going to do it, you don't need a telephoto lens because you need to be a participant in the action. These are public employees. This is a review of their work. Do not be afraid. They ask you to back off, you know you're doing the right thing. You're talking to them because they're feeling pretty alone and isolated. You can always find me at Jet City Orange, be it Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, what have you. These slides are at Jet City Orange, Occupy Your Camera, with a whole bunch of other resources. And I let's say to you, all power to the people, Om Mani Padme Hum.